Usage of control statements. In the last video, we introduced control statements, which are if, else statements. So how do we actually use this in real life? I'm going to show you how to use the if statement to detect inputs and the else if and else statement to work with detected inputs. This should allow you to proceed with today's assignment smoothly. Let's go in and take a look. The practical case behind control statements is to create logic in dealing with different variables of the state. In programming, the state is the collection of the values in the variables. So for example, if we have a variable name that is John and year that is 2018, then our state is collectively name, year, right? Sometimes you don't know what the state is, but you can reason about the state and use control statements to deal with them. So for example, if we have name being inputs, then name is whatever you type after the inputs is prompted. And we can kind of think, okay, if we ask the user to input a few inputs, or pick a choice between a few inputs, then we have a good case to reason about it using if statement. So let's try this a bit. So let's say fruit equals what do you like? Apple, banana. And I can type apple. What we can do is we can create firstly if then else statement to deal with different things. So we can say if fruit equals to apple, print you like apple. Else if fruit equals to banana, print you like banana, and then else. And this is an interesting case because we have actually presented the user with two choices only. The user shouldn't type orange or kiwi or whatever, avocado, which is not even a fruit. We can use the else statement to catch this fact and tell the user, hey, actually, you have inputted something we don't recognize. So we can say print not a fruit. Because we've inputted apple when we are prompted by the fruit, it will say that, oh, you like apples. Great. The other thing we can do is we can both take fruits and another, let's say hot or cold, right? So we say hot or cold equals to input, do you like food hot or cold? What we can do here is we can actually nest an if statement inside another if statement like this. So we can say if fruit equals to apple. We can then say if hot or cold equals to hot, print you like hot apples. Because hot or cold, we have given it hot and we like apples. So under this nested if then else statement, we have printed the fact that you like hot apples. One thing to notice here is in this statement block here, if we have already identified that the fruit is equal to apple, we then assume that if hot or cold isn't equal to hot, it's cold. But that's not necessarily the case, right? Because we know that the user doesn't need to abide to our input conventions and only input hot or cold. The user can also say, just put in warm, for example. So what we need to think about is, in the conditions, do we actually capture all the cases within the variables, or have we skipped over some cases? In hot or cold, the actual variable can take on hot, cold, or really any other value. We can give it a number. The prudent thing to do is to explicitly declare if and else if statements for each value that you expect to be correct, and then use the else clause to catch every other value and return an error statement that says, hey, your inputs are wrong. Doing this gives us a very disciplined way of dealing with program logic and control flows and allows us to catch errors early on. And that's all there is to it. We've just learned about how we can use control statements, and we can use the if statement to detect input, and also using the else if and else statement to deal with different variables' value. In the next video, I'm going to show you how we can loop over things, i.e. do a repetition of things without specifying it all the time. I'll see you guys next time.